Okay, it is now time to vote in the final round. A few of the ones that I would choose. One didn't make it, one I'm not going to show on screen, and then one I'm actually going to vote for. So let's go to the one that I've actually already voted for. And that is, as you can see, Warrior Girl Unearthed. I love this book so much. It's going to be in my top 10 this year. Now I'm going to go to the one that I'm not going to show on screen, what I'm voting for. I will say, out of all of these books, I have not yet read Powerless, not going to read it. It's almost impossible for me to get a hold of this. I have not read this yet. I've not read this yet. I'm planning to read this one today. But I don't think that my opinion would change on what I think is the best book. And now it is time for fantasy. Of the books that made the shortlist, I've actually done a fairly good job reading through these. I haven't read two of them. I have not yet read this, and I still don't have my copy of this. I'm really wondering where it is, if I'm going to be able to read this one. I say almost done with this, but this is such a long book. I think I might be able to finish it today as of voting the last day of the round, December 3rd. I don't know yet. But of the books that are here, none tops Trust. Trust is the highest rated out of all of these books that I've read. I really enjoyed Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I thought it was just really cozy and enjoyable. And it happened to be a chilly day, the day that I read it, which was really cool. Hellbent, again, I've mentioned, does not live up to Ninth House. Ninth House might have given Tress a run for its money, which is kind of ironic because they're very different books. In my blog, I talked about my complicated thoughts on the Fragile Threads of Power. Obviously, I haven't quite finished this yet. Read The Unmaking of June Farrow. I don't really feel like it's a fantasy book, but I loved the atmosphere. If I were voting on atmosphere alone, it would be this book. I felt like I was there. It was cozy. I was all wrapped up while reading it. Really enjoyed my time reading it. Bookshops and Bone Dust did not live up to the height of Legends and Lattes, but anytime you have a bookshop in there, I'm going to like it. I don't have any thoughts on these two yet. And then this one, at the time of reading it, I rated it 4 stars, but thinking back, I'm pretty sure it'd actually be a 4.5 stars because I loved the exploration of the world that Shannon Chakraborty had in here. I almost said Amina El-Sarafi. No, she's the character, not the author. So I'm going to vote for Tress of the Emerald Sea. As to what I think will win, I'm not actually all that sure. I think I didn't mention what I think will win for young adult. I think it's going to be the one that I voted for, which I'm not showing on screen. But here, I'm not really sure what is going to win because this was well loved. I don't think it has the name recognition. A lot of people really like V.E. Schwab and like her books, but weren't as much of fans of this particular outing. You've got the massive name recognition for Cassandra Clare and Leigh Bardugo. It's going to come down to one of these three. I'm predicting that those three are going to be top 3. Fragile Threads might squeak in there, but I don't think so. I'm just not sure. We shall see on that one. And then the last one that I'm going to vote for, last category, unfortunately, my Scribd Ever-End subscription, unlimited subscription, reset, and I'm not able to get a hold of this one. Otherwise, I would have read it. Later today, actually, it's probably going to be tomorrow because Day of Fallen Night is so long. I have Page Boy and one other book. It must be one that didn't make the final. So of these, the ones that I've read, I've actually read 6 out of the 10 of these. I've read Spare. I read that early on in the year. Obviously, I read Counting the Cost. My mom finished that yesterday or the day before. Read All My Knotted Up Life. My mom has also read that one. You Could Make This Place Beautiful, Paris, the memoir, and Love, Pamela. And all of these have been really enlightening and have showed me a different side to a person's story than you would have otherwise known. And that's what I love so much about being able to read these different books. A lot of them are told in different ways and they deal with different things. And I've really enjoyed getting into this. And obviously, I don't rate these. So the one that I vote for is going to be the one that resonated the most with me. And it's the one where my vote actually, well, young adult fantasy, it stayed the same. You just haven't seen it. But my vote is actually going to stay the same. The one that resonated the most with me was Counting the Cost. Now, as far as predicting the winners, I think, like I said before, I think it's going to come down to Britney Spears, Spare, and Counting the Cost. It's going to be one of those three, I'm pretty sure. I think that Elliot Page, I think his is going to be fairly up there in the standings. I just don't think that it's going to be much higher than that. I mean, maybe Paris, the memoir, but I'm not sure. So I really think that, and it's hard to narrow down a winner, I'm almost certain it's going to be Britney's. Last year it was Jeanette McCurdy's. By far, everyone knew that was going to win. I think it's going to be Britney Spears, but I'm hedging my bets, and maybe it'll be this one, or that one. We shall see in just a moment for you guys what were actually the winners in this category, in all of these categories. Now it's time to find out the winners of the Goodreads Choice Award for 2023. I have already clicked on fiction because I didn't want the general page to be out or open, so I didn't want to see anything. So I've already seen that one, and I'll talk about that in just a second. I'm going to switch to a screen recording and continue from there. Okay, so as you can see, Yellowface is the winner, and everybody, just about everybody, predicted that. A lot of people thought that Hella Beautiful might have a chance, but look at the difference there. That is a huge vote difference. That's 140,000 votes different. Wow, it's not that much different down to the Wishing Game. Of those, the lowest is this one, Family Meal. Don't know anything about that. All right, I do like that they put all 20 back in for this. So let's look at historical fiction. Wayward. Oh, interesting. I did not expect that. A lot of people expected The Covenant of Water because it's from a well-known vetted author. I think he's won the Booker or some literary prize, and it's an Oprah's Book Club winner, and that's not that shabby of a margin there. That's about 16,000 votes there. Interesting. Lady Tan's Circle of Women is third. That's really good. It was a good book. See the bottom here? Yeah, I've never heard of this one. Oh, that's sad. I have these, and I've heard good things about both of them. Oh, and the Desmond Ward. I think that's because it hadn't been out very long. I have these two as well. So I'll have to give my thoughts on those when I read them next year. I'm thinking about a project on that. All right, mystery thriller. Okay, I don't know much about these, but a lot of people had been predicting The Housemaid's Secret to win. And, well, they'd also been predicting The Only One Left. Let me rephrase that. They'd been predicting any one of these three. A lot of people had been saying the Riley Sager might make it, and it's third. But they're also saying strong things about The Housemaid's Secret because I think it's a sequel to a well-loved other mystery thriller. All right, romance. And no one is surprised. It is Emily Henry with Happy Place and Ali Hazelwood with Love Theoretically in third. Yeah, that does not surprise me at all. And the gap is actually less than last year when she was up against two Colleen Hoover books and they kind of split the vote. But even if you had put them together, I forget what her book last year is, or was, it still would have won. So that was a huge gap from first to second. This one's not that much of a gap. All right, let's see, Romantasy. Absolutely no one is surprised here. Oh my word. Look at the gap here. Almost 400,000 votes. I think this book got the most out of any book here. I'm not saying it's a terrible book, but like seriously, no. And interestingly, Assistant to the Villain was second, which I don't know what I think about that. Both of them are published by the same company, Read something or other, which is an imprint of Entangled. I don't remember what the name of it is. It's interesting that Hurricane Wars is further down. Yeah, those look like basically the same book. Anyway, skipping fantasy, coming back to that. All right, science fiction. Oh, I did not expect this. I did not expect In the Lives of Puppets to win. As you can see, I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. Wow. I did not expect that at all. What's interesting is that the Martha Wells book, which came out the day the nominees were released, is in 6th. That's not too shabby for not a lot of people having read it. Wow. Okay, that is very surprising. And the Pierce Brown was about 11,000 votes below that. I wonder if it's because it's a second series and so further on in the series. All right, next is horror. I predicted this. On name alone, if Stephen King is in a category, he's probably going to win it unless it's fantasy. That's not a guarantee because he didn't win last year with fairy tale and fantasy. That's one of only a handful of Stephen King books that I've read. And Grady Hendrix is 2nd and T. Kingfisher is 3rd with Isabel Kanyas in 4th. That's what I thought. Name recognition. Oh, that's a bummer. Lone Women made it into the final round, but it was last of the finale. All right, skipping young adult fantasy and going to young adult fiction. Does not surprise me at all. It's Allie Hazelwood, and she gave Emily Henry a run for her money in romance. I'm bummed, not because it's Allie Hazelwood or this book, but because of how low this book is. This book is incredible. I don't know why I don't have a rating for this on Goodreads because I read it a while ago. I should have already put a review on there. It was 5 stars. It's down. It's going to be one of the top 10 that I have here. All right, let's take a look at debut novel. Wow. 2 times. 2 times Wayward wins. Hopefully that spells good things for when I read it next year. I'm going to try to read through all of my Goodreads Choice Awards books that I haven't read yet. I am almost done reading this one, and I finally learned the pronunciation of her last name. It's Tersh, and I would not have known that because I think it's Hungarian in origin, but I have the audiobook, and so it pronounced that. I actually agree with that. I think it was a pretty good book. I didn't vote in here because I hadn't read it yet at the time of voting because I'm literally listening to it right now. All right, let's look at nonfiction. Okay. Actually, this does not surprise me because a lot of people who in nonfiction circles know Matthew Desmond for Evicted. And that's, I mean, you think about Fourth Wing getting nearly 400,000 votes. Poverty by America didn't even get 30,000. It's still won. But I really, really, really want to read this. I read Evicted, thought it was well written, and I have been trying to get my hands on this book for a while. See how down? Oh, well, that's a bummer. This was my choice. It's 17th out of 20th. That's too bad. Okay, skipping memoir and autobiography. Let's go. I'm coming back to it. Let's go to history and biography. That surprises no one because David Grann is a very good author. Wrote Killers of the Flower Moon, just came out with a movie. This one ticks me off. It's not history. It's not history. And also probably not him writing. This is not surprising. He's a figure that's very well known, highly respected. I really want to read this one. I am planning to read it next year. I'm glad that it wasn't bottom, and I'm glad that it beat Elon Musk. All right, next let's look at humor. I don't really think I have thoughts on this because I don't know any of these books, but that does not surprise me. This is a memoir. And see right here, look at that. Memoir. Why is it in humor section? Why is it not in the memoir section? This category makes no sense. And yet they got rid of graphic novels and middle grade. And yet they still have this and they don't just put this in the memoir section. Not going to say anything else about that. All right, so what do we do next? I don't care as much about young adult fantasy and fiction. And as far as showing the winners, if what I think is the winner, I will show it. And just so you know, that's the one that got my vote. So let's take a look at that one. Like I thought, oh my word, it is the winner by a lot. Wow. Okay. It's the winner by a lot. I just said that again. Now the ones that are at the top, completely predicted that. You've got Stephanie Garber. I still have not read this one yet. I ended up picking up Foxglove because I had the ebook of it. And I just finished that right before coming to react to this. And then you've got Holly Black. It says want to read. I have read it. This also says want to read. I've read it. You know, Holly Black, Cassandra Clare. Yeah, that makes sense. And I've heard that this was TikTok famous. I'm not going to read that one. Like I've mentioned several times, it's been really difficult for me to get a hold of that one, and it's fantasy romance. So I'm not going to go the extra mile to try to get that one. Also, I have not read that one. I'm really excited about it though, because I loved her Together We Must Burn. I got that in Owl Crate last year, I think. And I really liked it. It's interesting that that was 8th. I have thoughts about this, but I'll save that for my reading blog. It does not surprise me that these two are down here like this. Oh, Song of Silver Flame Like That just missed out. I wish we could see what the votes were at the cutoff for that first round to see how close these were, because I would have rather had this one than that one. Not that I disliked either one of them. Oh, wow, those two were really close. So either one of those could have made it. I loved this one. I thought that was really good. That does not bode well. I still have that one yet to read. It's interesting that this one was so low. I wonder if a lot of people didn't like lore, and so they didn't pick this one up. They read very differently, and I really liked this one. Did not like lore at all. All right, so we're gonna do fantasy or memoir next. I'm gonna do memoir next. Okay, I just decided that. I predicted it. I knew it. This one coming in 3rd, that one does surprise me, but this does not surprise me at all. I wonder if the Prince Harry book had come out towards the end of the year instead of at the beginning, if there would have been more competition, because that's not a lot of competition. That's almost double. I've heard really good things about it. Oh, I really wish that I could get a hold of it and read it, because I've heard really good things about it and I really want to read it. This surprises me to make it this far. Wow, that was 6th? That's impressive. I did not realize that it would be up that high. I expected that this one would be higher. Interesting. That was my choice. That was the one that resonated with me the most. This, unfortunately, is the one that I have liked the least out of all the ones that I've read. I hate to say that, but the way the story was told, the way that Elliot Page wrote their memoir, my brain does not jive with that sort of storytelling, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I predicted that. Let's see about the ones that didn't make it. Oh, Kerry Washington one almost made it. Wow, the Minka Kelly one is so low. Oh, this is so sad. This was such a good book. A Living Remedy, such a good book. All right, so let's look at fantasy. This is the one that I was not sure of. I knew that had a chance of happening because of name recognition. No. I thought it was going to go to Tress, and Tress gets 2nd. It's close-ish. Closer than a lot of the other categories. This surprises me. I did not expect to see that one up so high. This also surprises me. It's so long. There are that many people that read that long of a book. This does not surprise me for it to be that. Stone Blind almost made it into the finale. Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible. Why is this so low? Oh, that makes me so sad. That was such a good book. Such a good book. This was so much better than some of the other ones. This was so much better than Hellbent even. That's disappointing. I'm really sad that this was so low. I would have loved for these two to switch places. Actually, this one here, where Will of the Many is, and Stone Blind, down at the bottom. I think that was my least favorite out of this category, out of the ones that I have read. The only ones that I haven't are Swordcatcher and Starling House, because I am almost done with Inkblood Sister Scribe. So there you go. There are my reactions to the winners. There were some surprises. There were some inevitable outcomes. But overall, it was a mixed bag this year, as we have all expected. My last Goodreads video besides the vlogs will be a comparison, and I will do that once I have finished all of the books in the categories, the two fantasy categories that I've read, so I can rank them. I'm not going to rank them memoirs because I don't rate them. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.